Okay. Let's see, what do I need to do first off? Alrighty. For whatever reason, my mouse is not working correctly. There we go. There we go. Perfect. Okay. So last I left off, right now I'm trying to set it up so that when a player's vote comes in, we need to add that vote to this map of drawings to the number of players that voted for it. So, current issue that I'm facing is that the voting handler takes a vote from the backend server, but it doesn't know whether it should go. It doesn't know. Well, yeah, it doesn't know which drawing it needs to correspond things to. Because a player can either submit what's called the disaster or a mitigation, and the voting handler doesn't know what that means. So we're going to need to inject into the voting handler something that's a little bit more statefully aware. So I started putting that together, and I'm going to need to flesh that out a little bit more. So basically, what we'll do is... Okay. So I have a couple things that I can do to make this work. If I go to the drawing round, you can either submit a drawing here for a disaster or a mitigation. So I could make it, he's game deving, hell yeah. So I could make it the case that maybe the voting handler is aware of the current game state, but I don't want to do that. I kind of like having all of the, like, whatever phase of the game that we're in, I kind of like having that contained all within just this game state class itself. So I'm going to try to keep that behavior. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create something that I can inject into the voting handler, and then the game state can basically toggle that behavior. So if we're in the draw disaster stage, then that goes into, we call this function get latest disaster. Likewise, if we're in the draw mitigations, we'll know to get latest mitigation instead. So let's do that. I already started it a little bit. Let's go to game state handler. No, this is under drawing. This is under game mode. Vote handler. Yes. Okay, so one thing I'm going to do is I need to pull that over here. I need to move this class over. Very important that you move your stuff around for effectively no reason at all. Organization is tantamount to success insofar as if you ever want to be productive, you can always just organize stuff instead, and then it's like you're being productive without having to actually work. Okay, so voting handler. Yeah, so I changed a bunch of code around so this stuff isn't going to compile anymore, which is fine. That's good. Stuff that doesn't compile lets me know where I need to change things. So now the voting handler comes in. Well, first of all, let's rename this thing. So I'm looking at this guy here, which maps, which takes drawings and maps them to the correct thing based off of just this Boolean. It's kind of hacky, but it'll work well enough for now. If there are more game states and this logic becomes more sophisticated later on, that's totally fine. But for right now, we'll call that game state aware drawing. What should we call this? How about drawing? I don't know what to call it. I could just call it drawing helper, but that's a terrible name. Maybe we'll call this, yeah, maybe game state aware drawing no, it shouldn't be called a handler. Drawing handler helper. That's a very, 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 very overly long name. So that's a good description for what it is. But if you look at the top of my screen here, Asset BP Game State Aware Drawing Handler Helper is a very ridiculous name. So I need to come up with something that's not so stupid. We'll call it BP drawing. How about player drawing helper? Perfect. That's a much better name. Alright, drawing submission handler. How about... Okay, so this is supposed to be using drawing submission handler. So what we'll do is we'll call drawing submission mapper. There we go. That's the way to do it. And then we'll rename this to map drawing. And now we go to our drawing submission handler. We're gonna name this thing the correct thing. So this is now drawing submit, drawing, what do I call it? Drawing submission mapper. Is it working yet? Well, I mean, I'm not done if that's what you're asking. I anticipate that this is probably going to be another 2 or 3 months before it's in a completed state, or even relatively close to a completed state. I'm mostly just doing this because my room is incredibly hot, and if I were to try and record anything, it would just be covered with like AC and fan noises. Alright, drawing submission mapper, add drawing, map drawing, that's what it was called. Boop. Okay, so we send in the player state, and then we have our drawing. Okay, just gonna quickly double check to make sure that this is all correct. Now we're looking at, but it looks complicated. What about this looks complicated? It's colorful. Colors are, there's nothing complicated about colors. Colors are just, they're happy. Nothing can ever be complicated. I mean, that would be like looking at like a crayon drawing and being like, wow, that looks really complicated. I mean, there are no examples on the internet, certainly, of people making really complicated drawings with crayons, because it's impossible. Okay, good thing it didn't error yet. Oh, that's because I haven't done anything yet. Just you wait. We're just getting started for this evening. Believe me, there is plenty of room for this to go south. Okay, so we send in the drawing mapper. I'm also going to make this public for some very interesting reasons. Actually, I'll just do it right now. So, I think I want to do... Oh, shit. Do I want to do it that way? Oh, it's going to be really annoying if I do it that way. I'm not going to do it that way. Okay, so what I'm going to do is in the game state, when... Oh, these are in the game mode. Where do I do this? Where do I do this? So the game... Oh gosh, this is such a confusing thing to explain. So the game mode handles communication with the backend server. The game state handles running the state of the game, obviously. But the issue is that they're not... The game mode and the game state aren't really supposed to interact with each other a whole lot, except for when they absolutely need to. And I guess this is going to be a case where they need to. So the game mode, this guy is the thing that owns these like join handlers, vote handlers, submission handlers, stuff like that. So the thing that I can do, and would be the longest thing is I could basically take this entire thing that I just wrote and put it into C++. And I sort of want to do that because that's like the best solution, but it's also going to take the longest amount of time if I do it that way. God. Alright, we're going to do it in C++. Yay! Okay. Source. Gotta always do things the hard way. Okay, what should I even call this one? This depends on a player state. Yeah. Could also... Oh gosh, what could I do? Could I make this a static method? No, I have to do it as a C++ class. Alrighty, so I gotta pick which module to... which folder I want to put this in. I guess it's related to players, so I'll put it in the players folder. Class. Drawing submission mapper H. Okay. Make our CPP file. Close you out. Okay, so I made that class. I need to then generate my project file again. You can do this through the Unreal Engine, but I prefer to do it this way because it's slower. It's more like the other way. Causes my engine to crash. Don't know why, but for whatever reason, Unreal crashes on me constantly whenever I try to do things the normal way. So I do everything in an abnormal way because I know it works. I could submit bug reports, I could try to debug it, but, you know, they pay professional developers to fix these things. And, I am not a professional developer. I don't know what you would call me. A code artist, maybe. Okay, go to our players. What do I call this? Drawing submission mapper. Okay, pragma once. Include drawing submission mapper dot generated dot h. Include oh shit player state h. Okay, U class blueprintable. The lovely sounds of a mechanical keyboard grinding out boilerplate code. Drawing submission mapper. It's normal to have everything have errors. Yeah, I know. You think I'm a professional bird catcher, a professional at YouTube? Is that what you're telling me? I don't believe that I'm a professional YouTuber, but if I am, then boy howdy, it is a very low bar to become a professional YouTuber. Okay. I've been working at this so long, I have all of this stuff memorized, which is ridiculous. Core minimal. Okay. Righty, what was I need a new function. Blueprint callable. And I need a U property. Which I guess this would be blueprint read write. Okay, this is a Boolean, which just says drawing. How about you're a professional at being bird? If being a professional YouTuber had a low bar, then I think being a professional bird catcher is like a bar that's like sitting on the floor and it's like covered in a little bit of mud. Okay, what do I call this? Game. Let's see. map to drawing. The best way to do this is not to use a Boolean, but I'm gonna do it this way because I don't want to overcomplicate things any more than I already have. Map to should map to disaster. Okay. Void map drawing submission. Class U drawing, and then class A oh shit player state player. Okay, now I need to import these things. A B C D. You always want to import everything in alphabetical order. Why? I don't know, but it's what professionals do, damn it. Okay. Anything else I need to work on? No, that looks pretty good. Okay. Great definition. Huh. That was weird. Okay. That's really strange. Okay, I don't want to get into what's happening here, but Visual Studio is very odd sometimes, and this is one of them for sure. What the hell are you doing? Here, let's do it that way. Weirdo. Okay. Cool. No reason to put the keywords class in here, but I like the way that it looks, and that's what professionals do, damn it. Okay. Okay. If should map to disaster, then or what was it? Player add disaster drawing. Player add mitigation drawing. This is hurting my soul to write it this way. It's fine. Okay, what do I feel like doing? What do I need to do next? So I need to create a factory for this, and then I need to add it to my module, but I don't want to do that yet because I need to think through. We need to do the exact same logic for voting. You're so clueless about programming, I was trying to figure out what you did to Word Perfect. This is Word Perfect in night mode. This is Word Perfect, but you turned on like a dark mode theme. That way it saves electricity. Okay. Don't worry. I'm kind of fudging my way through all this. I don't know anything about game dev. I just know how to program, and I know how to violently punch computer programs into doing what I want them to do, including game engines. So my reign of terror will only continue on this poor code base. Okay. I don't like the way that I'm about to do this, but I'm going to do it that way. Okay. Go to my source. So I just did drawing submission mapper. I'm now going to do voting mapper because we need to do the exact same thing. We need to figure out, am I voting for a drawing or am I voting for a mitigation to a disaster? So, exact same problem is present here. And while I'm here, I'm also going to just quickly make a couple more classes. So this will be drawing submission mapper factory, voting mapper factory, and I think that's all I needed to make. Okay, generate my project files. if you want to learn how to program, step one is to take Notepad and put it into dark mode. And then you just practice with that for a little while. And then as you get better, then you do like WordPad, and you put that into dark mode. And then once you're ready, that's when you actually start using, you know, Visual Studio. Alrighty. You've always done light mode. Well, then I guess you're not a good programmer then. I mean, I don't even understand how you, how you don't have like a million bugs when you write it, every single thing that you work on. Okay. Loading mapper. So I need to find and replace, and I don't know how to do that in Visual Studio. So let's open Notepad and start making things with it. I mean, yeah, you totally could. It would be miserable, but you totally can. Edit. Find and replace. Control H. Okay, that's the way to do it here. That's fine. Alrighty. Drawing submission mapper is now voting mapper. Map. Vote. There you go. Voting mapper, drawing. What would this take? Okay, instead of taking a player, it would be voter and votee. Alright. Quick actions and refactorings. Create a definition in voting mapper.c++, which it doesn't know where it is. That's dumb. Okay, thank you, Visual Studio. You sure are cool. Use Notepad first, then you moved on to Notepad++, then Visual Studio Code. I mean, there's an entire, where is it? Yeah, I wrote the entire backend and front-end code base in Notepad++. You can totally do it that way. Because I don't have a JavaScript editor, so, or I guess this is TypeScript. I don't have a TypeScript editor, so there you go. This is how I wrote an entire full stack application. And this just and it's just glowing with glory. I mean, look at how easy this is to do it this way. Why am I constantly getting phone calls from this number? This is like the third time I've gotten a call from this number today. Hang on. If they're calling me this much, it might actually be important. Hello? Stan. I'm doing well. How are you doing? Sorry for not answering earlier. I am back. Urgh. Sorry about that. Well, I don't know why I'm apologizing that much. I'm working on a mortgage right now. So that was, mortgage-related people's, there's a lot of chat to catch up on. Looks like people are just being very sarcastic at each other. That's okay. My notepad app definitely isn't in night mode. I mean, I could put it into night mode, but I feel like that's not going to be a particularly great use of my time this evening. So, anyway, let's get back to work. So, voting mapper. Okay, we will just kill all this stuff. Hello, birdcatcher. Hello, Tot Prugler. Tot Prugler? So, Tot is death. What is Prugler? Bringer, maybe? German to English. Prugler. Beat? It says beat. I don't think that's right. Bird should remember the preview channel. What the hell's the preview channel? Are you talking about the TV Guide channel? Oh, God. I forgot about the TV Guide channel. I remember the TV Guide channel. I love the TV Guide channel because it was like watching TV without having to actually watch TV. What I remember about the TV Guide channel is that whenever I watched it, there were always ads on the TV Guide channel, and one of which was for the Turtle Soup Cafe, which I asked my parents, like, do they actually make soup out of turtles? And then they were like, maybe. And I was like, okay. I still don't actually know if they make soup out of turtles, but every time that ad came up for the Turtle Soup Cafe, I would just be like, wondering if should map to disaster. Else. Okay. Votee. Add. Vote. What is it? Okay. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get a pointer to the latest disaster drawing. Votee. Get latest disaster. Add voter. What is it? What's that method called? Shit player state. Vote for drawing. Vote for drawing. Voter. No. Latest disaster. I love how I named everything, by the way. There's nothing more enlightening about writing code that's just like, oh, what's the latest disaster? Oh man, this is just great. Alright. So we say that this person voted for the latest disaster. Otherwise, get latest mitigation. Other people will use their IDE's built-in refactoring things. I'm not like the other coders. Way more attractive. Okay. That's voting mappers. Okay. I have to go to the voting mapper factory. Okay. This is no longer a cached players. This is now a voting mapper. Damn it. Okay, I need to add an S there. Okay, good. And then drawing submission mapper factory. Make sure I got the right thing. H. This is now instead of a voting mapper, we're now saying take all this code, and it is a drawing submission mapper. All right, Good, good. What's next? What are you doing making with this code? I'm making a sort of Drawful-esque kind of game. Still very early. You can't really see that that's what I'm making yet, but like once I get to a certain point, it'll become like it'll come together like really, really quickly. Because the entire functionality of like pulling up your phone and like making a drawing in your phone and stuff like that, that's actually already done. I just I just need to put it into the game itself now. But the entire like application is basically completed, weirdly enough. Mapper. What's the next thing? Voting mapper. Voting mapper. H. Okay, you drawing submission mapper. You voting mapper. Alrighty. Build. Let's see if any of my code has any bugs. It won't, but we'll find out. But yeah, like all this code that I wrote over here, this is all to support. Yeah, see, bunch of stuff: game state, drawing, waiting, voting, waiting. All very fun things. Okay, no bugs. Build succeeded. Everyone knows that if your code compiles that... Oops, I opened the wrong thing. Everyone knows that if your code compiles, it means it doesn't have any bugs in it. If there's one thing you can prove mathematically, is that the absence of something means that it doesn't exist. I need water. My god, is it hot. Seattle weather. 86 degrees, humidity of 31%. Oh, I'm in hell. Okay, where am I at? Game mode. This class is going away. Force delete. It no longer exists. That might have been a bad idea. It looks like the engine crashed. Force delete will obliterate all references and is dangerous. Use this as a last resort. It's just, wait. It says it's not... It doesn't say it's not responding. Oh, fuck it. Okay. End task. I told you. Every time I try to do anything in Unreal, it crashes. Granted, the operation did come with a warning saying it's dangerous, but why would they give me a shotgun and tell me to point it at my foot if they didn't expect me to pull the trigger? You know what I'm saying? Alrighty. We'll let you live for now. Where should this go? I guess this should probably go in this folder. Alrighty. Oh shit, core. Alright. Drawing submission mapper. Okay, good. And then... oh shit, core. Loading mapper. Save. Save. Okay. Drawing submission handler. Okay, you now take on... oh. Huh? Drawing submission mapper should have an asset right there. That's weird. Compile. This is blueprintable, right? Did I mess this up? Hang on. I think I messed this up. I made this blueprintable, but I don't think that's actually what I meant to do. I think I meant to make it a blueprint type. Let me double check this. Damn it. Blueprint type. My code had a bug in it. What the fuck? It compiled. It shouldn't have had any bugs. Blame you, chat. You should have noticed this. Alright. Blueprint type. Not blueprintable. For whatever it's worth, in any coding outside of Unreal, the concept of a blueprint doesn't exist, so... I mean, obviously blueprints exist, but they're not code blueprints. It's just blueprints. Like, things that the spy from TF2 steals. Alrighty. By code compiled, no problem. That means no bugs this time, for real. You said math proves a bug can't exist. I said a lot of things. I mean, the thing about math is that, you know, it's not like physics. Like, math is just like math. It doesn't really apply to anything. But physics, like that's the real stuff. Alright, so I need to delete these. I need to remake them, I think. Let's find out. Drawing submission mapper. Alright. What happens if I delete that variable? Alright. Drawing submission mapper. Oh, because it was a... Ah, I didn't need to do that. Oh well. I did it anyway. Drawing submission mapper. Okay. Drawing submission mapper. Wish it would just name stuff after their types rather than calling everything new variable, because that's dumb. Alright, what did I call this? Map. Drawing submission. There we go. Look at how much nicer this code is. I bet you can't tell the difference whatsoever. No, the wires cross. Oh, this code is useless. Oh no, I have to redo the entire thing. As soon as a wire crosses, you know that your code needs to be thrown out of a window. Alright. I get to rename this. Drawing submission mapper. Save. Away it goes. Can I delete this now? Should be used anywhere. Some of these assets deleted are still referenced in memory. Like hell they are. Alright. Shouldn't be held in memory. Should have died an unholy death. Okay. Mapper. Okay. What was I looking at? See, the thing is, like, physics proves stuff about the world, right? Like, physics is like, hey man, there's a parabola over there. When you throw up a ball, it's like, it's a parabola. And like, what has math ever proven? That like, lines are straight? Like, who gives a shit? Okay, voting mapper. Hit voting mapper. Map. Vote. Okay, so the votee. So this is the votee. And this is the voter. Oh shit. Their object reference. Okay, that's fine. Geometry is useful math. I mean, okay. I'm looking around. I don't see any cubes. Alrighty. This is going to be a total mess, but it always is. Cast to... Oh, shit. Player state. One thing I need to do is I need to remove any references to O-ship players and replace them with O-ship player states, because players are not really the right tool to be using here. Like, a player is something like the controls that you use for a player, and like, you know, they're like 3D model and stuff like that, whereas a player state is things like what's their score, what the player's name is, what their avatar is, and stuff like that. So basically everything that I'm actually doing with the O-ship players, I should just be using the O-ship player state for it. So I'll fix this in a bit. Get player, what is it? Player state. There we are. And whoop whoop whoop. And compile. See, no bugs, it compiled. Alrighty, now that I've done that, what was I doing? Okay, so vote handlers come in. Okay, so I can make players vote for the right things. And then when drawings come in... Right, okay. So, I remember now. I remember what I need to do. Let's go to game state. And now, when the Draw Disasters stage begins... we will have our friendly little drawing submission mapper. Okay. Gonna pull down, gonna pull down this guy. Drawing submission mapper. Uh-oh, it's not saving. Why? There must be some sneaky bastard version of Unreal. I knew it. I knew it. Every time my shit crashes, I have the Unreal editor down here. But I actually also have a secret sneaky bastard version of Unreal hidden down here, which is consuming no CPU, but 256 precious miggle bits of RAM. Now that it's gone, I could save because I killed the random thing that was holding those, holding my ability to save hostage. What a cruel bastard. Okay. Drawing submission mapper. Very first thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna set should map to disaster. Obviously, you can probably figure out what the logic is here and what I'm trying to do. If we're in a round that is... we're supposed to be drawing disasters, we should probably map things to disasters. Boop, boop. Draw mitigations. We're gonna be doing the exact same fucking thing. Okay, variables. Drawing. I don't know why it does that. Drawing submission mapper. Save, compile. Boop, boop, boop. Don't need that anymore. Draw disasters handler. Copying and pasting code. Ah. Copying and pasting is the sign of bad code. The other sign of bad code is that I'm writing it. Oh. Cell phones. Sounds like I said the word cell phones, but what I was trying to say was cell phones. There we go. I've cursed it with magical babbling noises. Therefore, no bugs. Draw mitigations, draw disasters. These are all done. Away it goes. So when a player vote comes in, Oh, I did this wrong. Okay, well, anyway, so when we're in the voting round, we're not going to actually have a reference to a voting submission handler. Now I know why I made 2 classes, because they behave differently. Novel. Okay, so voting mapper goes away. So a player can vote for 2 things. They vote for a disaster first, then they vote for a mitigation after that. So what should it be then? Oh gosh, this is getting really complicated now. In that it's actually fairly ugly. Ugly things can be complicated too, right? Maybe ugly things are the most complicated things of us all. What do I feel like listening to now that the Ben Pronti album has run out? Let's see. I'm not getting any good recommendations for soundtracks to listen to. Let's see. I'd listen to Skyrim. Oh, how about Oblivion? I haven't listened to the Oblivion soundtrack in a super long amount of time, actually. That'll be fun. All right. Okay. So player state. So we need to find a way of knowing if a player has voted for their favorite drawing or their favorite disaster. So there's a lot of ways I can do this. Let me think through it. Okay. So let's think this through. A vote comes in and all we really know is the voter and the votee. And it's up to us to figure out whether they're voting for what drawing they're trying to vote for. We almost have that. We go to our voting mapper, and it says we get the latest drawing, we get the latest disaster, and we vote for that. We get the latest mitigation, we vote for that. But this logic should map to disaster is wrong. So the player's state can contain the information about whether it's voting for a disaster or not. Maybe that should come in from the server. I suppose I could do it there. I actually do a fair amount there. Alright, let's do it that way. So, now when a player submits a drawing, that the server should tell us whether it's for a disaster, should tell us what their drawing is for. Yeah, that actually makes total sense. Okay, let's go to our backend server model over here. And look, I'm going to use Notepad++ for this. We've stepped out of dark mode. Oh, we're trending into dangerous territory. This might actually be words have escaped me. This might actually be bugs, because we don't have the power of dark mode with us. Scary. What am I thinking of? Union, disaster, or mitigation? Makes sense. Let's see. Submission type. So it can either be a... Oh, this shouldn't be a union. Okay, now I need to go to documentation. Ugh. Even scarier than anything else is reading documentation. Not now, Firefox. Quit trying to sell me on your shit. Flat buffers. Speaking and coding at the same time is basically a process of me constantly interrupting my own thoughts and then trying to re-rail them. It's fascinating. Okay. An enum. Gotcha. Okay, so this isn't a union anymore. This is an enumeration. Submission type. They have it as a byte. Yeah, that seems fine to me. Okay. And then this will be disaster is equal to 0. Well, actually, we don't need to assign anything explicit there. We can just let the code itself generate what it wants. Disaster and mitigation. All right. So when a drawing submission comes in, we're now also going to say that we have submission type. Submission type. And vote will also have a submission type associated with it. So now when you vote for something, you're also saying kind of what you're voting for. God, the easiest way would be to send over a drawing. No, I don't want to do that. Problem with sending over a drawing is that then the... So this is an event that's coming from the servers. I mean, that somebody has to send that data across the internet, and if we have to send over a drawing, then we have to send over like an entire PNG, and we don't need to do that. We just need to send over string data. Otherwise, it gets very expensive because people have to pay for every byte that they send across the wire. Okay, submission types are there. Close out the Unreal Editor. Okay, so now that I've compiled my model, the easiest thing I can do is just to compile my project again. Fuck. Back in server. Oh. That's fine. So I need to run a command, but I was cool and sophisticated and sassy. So whenever I compile my project, it automatically runs that command, and it gave me the error output from it, which I think is really neat because I didn't know it would do that. But yeah, not only do you sometimes have to compile your code, you need to pre-compile your code. Terrifying. Because otherwise I have to, by pre-compiling my code, I can write code to generate other code. Should map to disaster, undeclared identifier. Well, yeah, because I don't need that anymore. Okay, prompt back manifest generated. Oh. What? Hang on, let's delete this file. Whenever I hear this specific song, I immediately start thinking of shitpost videos of people being like, so, what brings you here? Did you hear about the High Elves? Goodbye. If you played a lot of Oblivion, you know exactly what I'm going for there. God damn, Oblivion's a cool game. Okay, should we open this? No, God, no, not WordPad. Is this date modified with 7/11/2020? That doesn't sound right. Should have been like a minute ago. Should I believe this? Let's find out. Submission type. No! My automatic command didn't actually do shit. Who could have seen this coming? I have a strategy. Alright, let's see if it did it. Aw. It's not running this command. Oh, maybe because it's... Oh, okay. New strategy. I think that it's not running the command that I needed to because the code has a bug in it, which is dumb. Okay, so I think I know what is up. So I have this as an editor target, and it's running this command. But I may not be doing a development editor target in my build. Okay, oh shit, editor. Wait, that doesn't make any sense because it gave me the output a second ago. It's so confusing. Why did I write stuff that's complicated? What the hell was I thinking? Why would I ever do that? Huh. Yeah, this command doesn't work anymore. Backend server model.fps. Do the right thing. Alright, new strategy. Rebuild the entire program from scratch. Maybe that'll trick it into doing what I needed to do. And if not, then I can always just manually run this command. That defeats the entire purpose of copying and pasting it here, is to save me like 3 mouse button clicks. We're not going to look at this command. This command that I've commented out, it's an evil one. That's this command corresponds to some evil eldritch magics that is a force that should not have been trifled with by myself or anybody. Insofar as we'll talk about that later. That'll be a fun disaster. Okay, so this command isn't running anymore, which is dumb as shit. Which means we get to go to the terminal. Alrighty. Oh, that has my name on it. I think... Oh. Okay, well then you can't see me doing it. Everyone's just gonna rewind the stream anyway to look at it. Oh well. Okay. What am I looking at? G drive. Shit. Okay, then I'm just running this command. flatc.exe. C++. Backend server model FPS. All right. That's the wonderful thing about streaming is that no matter how much you try to keep your personal life private, it's impossible. Submission type. There we go. Okay, so now my backend server model has the submission type that I needed. Let's take this bad boy over here into my source code. Hell yeah. Generate the Visual Studio files. All right. I have to sneeze at some point. Are we all ready for that? It was, oh no. Much sooner than I expected. Oh my god. Oh, we did it. Flat buffers, public. All right, backend server model generated. Now we need to find out if this, the generated code has any bugs in it, because it very well could, and oftentimes does. Oh well. Submission type. Alright, so that's just a regular old enumeration, which is actually super nice. Yes. You weren't ready for the second sneeze. I didn't give you any warning. Yeah, I would apologize, but fuck it. Okay. There we are. Had to change the one line, and it compiled perfectly. Okay. Source. Backend server. Backend server. What am I looking for? Message parser. Is this it? No. Drawing submission. Okay, so when a drawing submission comes in, when a drawing submission comes in, we need to associate a submission type with it. Same with the vote. So we're going to add that class. Okay. Okay, good. Let's reload this. Oh, hey, Tacoma's free on EGS. Tacoma was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed playing that game. It was very chill. It was a walking simulator, but in space. Alright. Submission type. Pragma once. Enum. I guess I'll make this a blueprint type. Just in case. Don't know if I'm gonna actually use that. Enum class. Is that what it is? I don't remember the syntax for enumerations. Consult the documentation before enum. Nope, not useful. Yep, okay, it's an enum class and it has to be of type uint8 and it has to start with the letter E. E submission type uint8. What were the two submission types? Okay, disaster. In C++, are they semicolons? That's the wrong thing. That's the wrong thing. What am I even looking for? I'm looking under Firefox. Okay, just commas. Disaster mitigation. This is a little odd that it has so many errors. I guess I'll include core minimal, and then I'll include submission type dot generated dot h. Do UEnums need a they need generated body in them, do they? I don't even know what I was looking at here. Oh, namespaces? I didn't even know namespaces were supported in Unreal. I assume they weren't. Alright, let's try compiling and seeing if that will make these red squigglies of pain and torment go away. Tacoma, that was the weird space capitalist game, right? Yeah, that was the one where it was about me going to space and being a slave to Amazon. Alright. It was easy enough. Submission type compiled, even though it has red squigglies under everything, so I get to pretend that that's not an issue. Okay. What do I need to do next? When a drawing submission comes in, submission type .h, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, okay. Include submission type .h. Same thing for the vote. You start with the letter B, therefore you go over here. Because what do we say? Professionals always make their includes in alphabetical order. I have no idea if that's true or not. You property E submission type. Type. Drawing submission.h. Here we go. Alrighty, having done that, backend server API. I guess I'm also going to want to put that over here in submission type. Maybe does it take this macro? Yeah, maybe. I'll put that in there, see if it complains later. Alright, drawing submission comes in. Next thing we want to, or now when we're putting this together, we're reading the backend server message. Next thing we want, submission type is, oh, this might be a little weird. Huh, I'll have to look into that. Okay, drawing submission. I could server models. Okay. Go to this. Okay. Get submission type. Alright, where do we get that? Okay, the method is just all in undercase, like that. Alright, there we are. So that gets the submission type, but then how do we translate it from the flat buffer's representation of a submission type into something that Unreal understands? Well, this is going to be interesting. So, probably one of the most sophisticated ways would be to make a map. And I shouldn't do it that way. That's way, way, way too complicated. 837. I'll do it the more sophisticated way later because it doesn't seem all that interesting to do it that way. Then again, basically everything that I've been doing this entire evening has been me looking at a simple way of doing things and deciding I don't want to do it that way. So, far be it from me to want to go against that. So, let me think about this. One thing, what would be the So submission types, they are mapped to integers 0 and 1. So one thing I could do is in my submission type enumerations, oh, but hang on. It's an enumeration class that's also type safe, so this won't work. Shoot. All right, next best thing would be to include a helper function here that does this mapping. Okay, that's fine. We'll do it that way. Submission type. Get submission type from flat buffer. Backend server model generated. Submission type. Hang on. What's it called? Oh shit, backend event model. And submission type. Okay. This should really be put into a blueprint library, but then I'd have to make another file to do that. So I'll do that in a bit, maybe. Okay, so we get the submission type from the flat buffer. To do that, let's go ahead and make a private namespace and include map. What is it? Containers map builder? Let me think about this. UE4 map builder. Nope, wrong thing. T-map builder. That's what I was looking for. Okay. Okay, okay, okay. All right, perfect. So we have a T-map of a backend server model submission type to a Unreal friendly submission type. Submission type mapper. Submission type map. And what should this do? Okay, is equal to T-map builder. Okay, so we created a map from... Hang on, does this return a T-map builder? Ah, it does. Perfect, it's a fluent interface. Oh, I love it. Add submission type. What are the two options for submission types? They are submission type disaster and submission type mitigation. And this maps to our lovely submission type disaster. Okay, so that maps from our nasty flat buffer representation of the world into our lovely Unreal Engine representation of the world. So by doing that, no bugs will happen. Could guarantee it. Build. Okay, did that do the trick? I'm seeing red squiggly lines, so I'm assuming it did not. I bet that the key type won't even be supported. Well, I'll get a compiler error and then I'll figure it out from there. This is a capital B. This doesn't need to be templated, does it? I could look it up in a different project I was working on, where I did use T-Map Builder extensively, but I'm not going to for right now. Okay, return submission type map dot find ref submission type. Alrighty, who is ready for compiler errors? I'm afraid that, unfortunately, this time my code is going to have bugs in it, and there's really nothing I can do about it. It's horrifying, I know, but I'll have to live with it. Name followed by that must be a class or namespace name. That can't be good. What the hell? So it showed me one error, and then I looked at it into a little bit more, and then it showed me a different error. So that's interesting. Okay. I'll just let the errors be what they are up until they aren't what they are anymore. Blueprint type enum base, currently only U int 8 supported. Isn't that what I did? Isn't that supposed to be an enum class, maybe? Oh, I added this macro. Let's get rid of that. In saying there won't be bugs while programming the same as saying good luck in a theater. You know, the thing about saying when you're submitting your code that there won't be bugs, basically what you're doing is you're overpromising and under-delivering, right? That's supposed to be good, I think. Something very weird is happening. Backend server model generated. Yeah. It's almost like there's two different lines of code. Something really, really, really weird is happening with my program. Wait. Is this thing working now? That doesn't make any damn sense. Okay. We're gonna get rid of it. Hold the fuck. What is happening? Backend server model generated. I have two files that apparently have the exact same names. One of which has an error in it, and the other doesn't. Oh. Huh. That's not my fault. That's, somebody's teaming up to, defeat me. It's not cool. I'd appreciate if they stopped doing that. Okay. Is this working now? Ah, it did work. Submission type. There's a syntax error. So that's already a problem. Argument list for class template is missing. I can fix that. Doop. Okay. Build. They're hacking into my mainframe. Yeah, somebody has used a TCP tunnel into my IP address, and they stole my token ring. Okay, this is actually really easy to fix. In submission type, let's just go over to drawing submission. We're going to just very quickly steal backend server model generated.h. You go in there. I was missing the necessary shit for having these things defined. C++ is stupid like that. Every time I do one of these include directives, bit of C++ trivia, every time you type something at the top of your file that says include this file.h, what's happening is the C++ compiler takes that line and then replaces that line with this entire file. It just copies and pastes it right there. It's ridiculous. But C++ has been around since like the 90s, and that's just the way that you had to do things back in the day. Okay, cannot convert from submission type to e-submission type. Right. I know that. Wait, this worked? The T-map just worked? What, this is the key? That's fucking weird. Okay. Drawing submission.c++. Okay. We included in submission type, we have this function now, get submission from flat buffer. Drawing submission type. That should have done it. I'm seeing red squiggly lines. There we go. That did it. And then under vote, we also have the submission type there as well. Vote. Instead of being a drawing submission, it is now a vote. We get the submission type for build, and we shall see. There will be no bugs. Buck. Okay, back in server, e-submission type. What the hell am I even looking at here? Get submission.flat buffer isn't being linked correctly. Go figure. Already defined, second definition ignored, second definition ignored. Alrighty. So apparently having this function just kind of floating around doing its thing wasn't very well appreciated by the Unreal Engine. Oh god, I can't believe I have to do it this way. Alright. We'll do it that way. Okay. We'll do it the very, very, very strictly disciplined way, as I've done basically everything else, using the very, very strictly disciplined, over-the-top difficult way of doing things. Okay. Submission type, utils. Am I going to need to define this in C++ in a CPP file? Yes. Okay. Let's do it that way. I can't ever get away from doing things the hard way. If I see a corner and I tell myself, like, oh man, I can cut it, I can never actually cut it. So I have to define a... I was just defining a method that was floating around in raw C++, but it wasn't really tied to anything in the Unreal Engine, and the Unreal Engine didn't like that one bit. So it told me to fuck off with that, and it refused to compile. So instead, I have to create an entire class do this. New class. I'm not gonna make it a blueprint type or anything. Class. Backend server API. You submission type doodles. Didn't need that. Do need that. Okay. What is this? Blueprint. I should have another thing called Udels flying around somewhere. Session HUD, maybe? Blueprint function library. Okay. And then blueprint function library. Cool, so now I have my statically defined little helper dude who is gonna fix all of my compiler issues. And it's only gonna take me about 300% more lines of code than I wanted it to. Okay, yep. No. We're gonna go and... Oh, he's already in that file. Alright, that's fine. Okay. Include submission type utils. I have no idea if I am ever actually explaining anything worth a damn while I'm doing all this stuff. Because for me, I'm just like flying around. Not only is it like my own code base that I know a lot about already, it's like I'm also doing like stuff that's actually extremely difficult. It's probably just coming across as total nonsense most of the time. Okay. Submission date. Alright, I'm tired of the Oblivion soundtrack. What do I feel like listening to? Oh, there's the Chrono Trigger soundtrack. That's always a fun one, but it's a little MIDI. I know what I feel like listening to. Jazz Jackrabbit 2 soundtrack. Most people probably have not even heard of this, but it's a pretty fucking awesome soundtrack. Same guy that made Deus Ex, the Pyre soundtrack. Oh, that would have been a good one too. Okay, submission type utils. Jazz Jackrabbits. Yeah, this. Oh, I think so. I'm pretty sure that the guy who wrote. I'm pretty sure Alexander Brandon wrote at least some of the Jazz Jackrabbit soundtrack. It feels very appropriate to be listening to an Epic Mega Games game while working in the Unreal Engine. It feels like I'm paying tribute to the gods. Surely if I listen to Unreal games while programming in the Unreal Engine, it means that there will never be any bugs. The new Deus Ex made by the same guy that did the old one. I don't believe that's the case. I think that the new Deus Ex soundtrack is done by a completely different person than the guy who did the original ones, or the original one. Okay, submission type utils. Submission type utils at C++. Okay, this has to be a static function, right? Okay, so static goes first. And I can just do it that way. Okay, cool. What are my thoughts and my thinks and my thoughts? There we go. You just googled it. First two games were one studio, the second two were another. Yeah, that sounds about right. Deus Ex was Ion Storm back in 2001, 2002, something like that. Mission type noodles. I hope I got that right, and it was Ion Storm. I just attempted very hard to flex my my gamer trivia, and if I got it wrong, then I will look quite the asshole. Yeah, here we go. Here we go. This is gonna fucking melt faces. I haven't listened to this in an incredibly long amount of time. This plus. Alright. Now that we've done that, surely my code will compile with nary a bug in sight. Which also means that submission type doesn't need to include that anymore. And it doesn't need that anymore. And it doesn't need that anymore. There we go. Let's see. Deus Ex was it was a War Inspector game for Ion Storm. Music written by Alexander Brandon, released in... Oh! Wait, hold on. Deus Ex came out in the year 2000. I nailed every single bit of trivia that I just flexed on everybody with. That's what I'm talking about. Let's see. Cannot open source files. Utils generated. Why? What did I do wrong? Can I find class to resolve delegate submission type? The hell does that mean? Cannot find class quotation. Wait, what? Can I find class to resolve delegate submission type? That's a fun bug. I have no idea what the hell that means. Submission type. Huh? Oh no, because it's a U function. Hang on, if I don't make it a U function anymore, that should be fine. So by trying to make this a U function, I was trying to expose it to the Unreal Engine at a level of depth that I didn't really need. So it was freaking out. I don't need it to do that though. Oh, another bug? Yes, another bug. Love it. Include containers / map builder. Maybe that's all I needed. Let's see it. Let's see it. Okay. Unresolved external symbol. Drawing submission, that's C++. Oh, okay, this is actually super easy. Go to... wait. Uh-oh. Huh? This isn't easy anymore. I quit. Nobody ever told me it would be difficult. Utils. Did I typo it or something? Get submission type from flat buffer. Huh? Alright, that's enough of that one. There we are. It will be difficult, Bird. Why did... You're telling me this now? You had all this time to tell me, and now you're busting that shit out? That's cruel. Oh. Aha ha 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 ha. I just called this a static get submission type from flat buffer, but I forgot that I need to also add this little namespace doodad. There we go. That should define it. Oh, build succeeded. Hell yeah. Okay, cool. Have we done all of that then? I created this voting mapper and shit like that. I don't actually need this anymore. I'll keep it in. You didn't know it was going to be difficult until I realized it was going to be difficult. It's always helpful to have a Monday morning quarterback, you know what I'm saying? It's always helpful to have somebody who can look at a situation after you've done it and giving you a lot of sight from behind, as they may say. There we are. God, Alexander Brandon's a hell of a musician. Scared the shit out of him one day. It was at a MagFest and I saw a panel with Alexander Brandon, Grant Kirkhope, and Austin Wintory. And we were... Austin Wintory was talking about his musical education. Austin Wintory was the composer for Journey and Flow and the one thing about Vikings, Banner Saga. He was the composer for all of those, and he was giving a panel with the guy that composed we're listening to right now, and then also Grant Kirkhope, who did Banjo-Kazooie, GoldenEye, stuff like that. So Austin Wintory, he's talking about like what his experience was in college learning how to become a composer, and he talked about how he studied under a composer named Morton Lauridsen, who's an incredibly famous composer of choral music and classical music and stuff like that. And as soon as he said that, I like audibly was like, oh my god, or something. Like, it just shouted that really loudly. And I said that so loudly that Grant Kirkhope like got like legitimately scared. He just was like, duh. Oh man. And then Alexander Brandon, I think, just stared at me. But Austin Wintory, he just kept talking as if I didn't say anything at all. That was a fun panel. Okay, so when you map a vote, now it's just, if... so the vote mapper taking in all this shit, now it should just take in, and this is all totally a moot point now. I'm about to throw away basically all of the code I wrote tonight. There's nothing more... like, that's such a fucking programmer thing to have happen. It's alright. All it means is that the solution that I arrived at in the end was way better than anything else that I came up with. You remember Grant Kirkhope from doing Viva Pinata, how dare you scare him? I mean, for whatever it's worth, he shouldn't have been so easy to scare. Have you ever thought about, you know, maybe the victim should be blamed? Just saying. Just throwing that out there. Let's see. Just gonna skip around a little bit more in the Jazz Jackrabbit soundtrack. I remember when Epic Games was called Epic Mega Games. Pretty stupid. Oops. Shouldn't have said that out loud. Well, they did change their name, so they must have known themselves. Okay. So now, instead of doing basically everything that I was doing earlier, we're going to say wait, how should I do this? How do you switch into enumeration again? I guess equals. Alrighty. So if the submission type is a disaster. God, I love the way that I've named everything in this game. Okay, reroute. We'll plug that into an if. Okay. So if we're doing a disaster, if we're voting for a disaster, then for our, this is the votee. Vote for drawing. And then the drawing is get latest disaster. And then it's the end of the night, so I'm making my code really sloppy and shitty. And then the voter is this wonderful person over here. There we go. Isn't it nice when you spend the entire evening working on what ultimately amounts to, like, these 4 boxes appearing? Game dev is a hell of a grind. Get latest mitigation. Alrighty. And I'll have to clean all this code up tomorrow, or whenever I work on this again. There we go. Cool, so that's gonna be it for the night. That was productive, but that was super productive and led to absolutely nothing that I can show off for having done all that work. But at the very least, it was very productive. This is setting up a lot of very, very important work, though, and I think that I'll really start being able to show off some progress maybe tomorrow using a lot of these things, where we'll be able to show that people are voting for stuff, people are submitting drawings. It's gonna be a real blast. Anyway, I am out.